There are many different ways that a wrestler can make an impact in the business of professional wrestling, be that in WWE or any other company, and one of those is through having great mic skills. Cutting a convincing promo or an entertaining backstage segment is crucial for those wanting to reach the industry's top. This is how people connect with fans and build emotions into their storylines. However, no matter how entertaining a segment is, everything in wrestling boils down to the in-ring aspect. While wrestlers can be strong on the mic, such as The Rock or LA Knight, people still expect them to be good at the wrestling. Over the years, some have put way too much focus on their promos and ended up lacking in-ring skills, which not everyone can pull off. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. In today's video, we're counting down 10 wrestlers who had great mic skills but lacked in-ring ability. Welcome to the club. In number 10, we have Julian Hall, who had no shortage of confidence, as her singing gimmick got her extreme levels of heat. Julian Hall was talented in the entertainment aspect of professional wrestling. She was able to get a reaction from an audience regardless of what was happening in the segment. She knew how to rile up a crowd, and that was clear in many of the roles she undertook during her spell with WWE. Hall's singing character was the best example of this, as the character was all about her ability on the mic. The singing was intentionally bad, and that is a level of skill that few wrestlers are able to reach. Unfortunately, her in-ring skills weren't good enough to get her a sustained big push. In number 9, we have Elias, who could draw huge heat with his constant segments, as audiences often lost interest during his matches. Elias was someone who could draw bigger reactions than most people in WWE when it came to his promos. Whether he was working as a heel and getting the fans to boo him, or building them up to cheer him on, Elias knew how to make people react to him. The level of response he could draw from a crowd was at a main event level, which is why he was always booked on shows. However, his in-ring ability could not match his ability on the mic, which is why he was never given many opportunities at titles or given a sustained push. In number 8, we have Santino Marella, who played the comedic role perfectly. However, he was given limited opportunities inside the ring. Santino Marella is one of the funniest wrestlers in WWE history, and only really rivaled by R-Truth, and that's because he had so much charisma to offer. He's been part of some classic segments, however his in-ring abilities were limited in comparison to others during his era. Marella was a better wrestler than WWE allowed him to be because his character restricted him to what he could do. However, his promo skills carried him through, creating a legendary career that few will forget. In number 7, we have the Sanman, who captivated fans with his personality, and his in-ring work was often sloppy. Sanman is an iconic wrestling figure, and someone who did lots of great work during his time in ECW. His in-ring technique was never overly polished, sort of the style of ECW to be fair to him, with Sanman bringing a brawling style and tons of attitude, which is something that led to plenty of success. However, when it came to his ability on the microphone, he certainly knew how to draw attention to himself. Whether it was a captivating backstage interview or an in-ring segment, Sanman would get people interested in his angles. Also get them interested by offering them beer and cigarettes during his entrance. In number 6, we have Enzo Amore, whose in-ring skills never caught up to his ability on the stick, as he could have audience eating out of his hands when he spoke. Enzo Amore is one of the greatest talkers to have stepped into the ring during the modern era. His gift of the gab served him well throughout his career because he was incredibly entertaining. Whether he was pulling out catchphrases for people to chant along with or cutting people down with his one-liners, Amore thrived on the microphone. Inside the ring, though, things started to slow down for Amore, as he wasn't able to back up everything he said. He was limited as an in-ring talent, and that's one of the reasons he couldn't kick on. In number 5, we have Jinder Mahal, who has often proven himself on the mic. However, his matches were typically average, as anyone who saw his WWE title will attest to. Jinder Mahal has had a rollercoaster career in professional wrestling, filled with immense highs and real lows, having been released by WWE twice. His in-ring work was always rather basic, so his matches never kicked into the next gear to become overly exciting, which is understandable for a jobber to have. However, Mahal was a fairly gifted talker and always managed to showcase his charisma. He was compelling in 3MB and brought lots of energy, while he also thrived as a heel at getting great heat whenever he spoke. The fact he was able to hold his own against the likes of The Rock on the microphone proved his talent. Granted, this wasn't prime Rock, this is modern Rock, who isn't as good as he was back in like the 2000s, but still. In number 4, we have Matt Striker, who was always entertaining on the mic, and which is why he eventually transitioned to being a commentator. When audience think of Matt Striker, they tend to think of his career as a commentator, which was actually pretty underrated at. He was placed in that position because of his charisma and the energy he brought, which was always the case whenever he was given promo time. Striker was never pushed too much throughout his career due to his in-ring skills, as they were basic. Striker never set the world alight inside the ring, but his promos were certainly good, and his work inside the revived ECW brand was pretty damn entertaining. In number 3, we have Brad Maddox, who transitioned into non-wrestling roles, and many fans cannot recall his matches. Brad Maddox was always able to get heat from the crowd due to his promo skills, and that's one of the reasons WWE relied on him so heavily when he was in the company. He was put in significant storylines and positions and given lots of mic time because that was his strength. People recall him in his authority figure role, but most fans don't remember his in-ring work. Maddox was average at best as a wrestler, which stopped him from making any real progression outside of his initial run. In number 2, we have Buff the Stuff Bagwell, who thrived with heel promos, and he was not skilled inside the ring anywhere near as much as he was on the mic. Buff Bagwell was a memorable talent from the Monday Night Wars because he was often given lots of television time, but that was mainly due to the entertainment factor of Bagwell. Buff was confident on the mic, especially during his spell at WCW. Inside the ring, his work was, to put it nicely, limited, which was evident during his match against Booker T when WCW first appeared on WWE television. He was able to hold his own, but the matches were never overly entertaining or complex. And at number 1, we have David Otunga, who took on various broadcast roles, and his in-ring career was fairly forgettable. David Otunga is best remembered for his incredible physique and marrying lots of celebrities, which remains one of the most impressive in wrestling history. But his in-ring work was very basic, and that led to all of his matches being flat and forgettable. However, on the microphone, Otunga had plenty of confidence, and that led to some compelling promos when he was in a heel position, pushing his experience in the law industry. And there you have it. There's our list. So what do you think? Who do you think is the wrestler who could talk best on the mic, but couldn't back up what they were saying in the ring? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button and that notification bell to never miss out any of the content we produce here at Honor Wrestling Club. Be sure to check out our videos and give any feedback you may have. It is always appreciated and valued. So, I'd just like to thank you for watching and welcome you to the club. See ya!